I hope my stream is working. Mic is on. Let's check the chat if chat is working. So the bot should be on in the background as per the software list. We feed dashboard. I don't know. Let's see if my stream is working. Yeah, we are live on Twitch. Let me check it real quick. If we are live on YouTube. Wait, we are not live on YouTube.
I think we know Japanese.
Are we live on YouTube? Yeah, we are live on YouTube. Yeah, we got the text over here. Okay. Let's go to Twitch. Let's find out if it's working. Yeah, Twitch is real quick actually. YouTube is kind of slow. Real quick actually. YouTube is kind of slow. Real quick actually. Got it. And now we can work on 3D model actually. So last time my plan was to. Okay. So I'm just looking for an add-on for textile density. Just looking for a Blender add-on. See if there is any. Okay, textile density checker. I'll just download. Drag and drop doesn't work for me because I'm using the old version of Blender right now. Drag and drop is something new in 4.4 maybe. Chat card, viewer card. Let's put it on the right side. File. Then we go to preferences, add-ons, install, downloads. Oh, C++ fast. Python. Oh, okay. So this is the calculation method. We do not need to worry about this actually. All these things can be set later on. Texture size is 2000. I set it by default. It's set to do this one because I always use 2048 all the time. What did I just do? No, that was the UV panel. Or was that? Yeah, it was the UV panel. So now I have to there we go. There we go. UV grid. And let's go to colored grid so that we can see if it's on correct direction or rotated. If any part does not have any material, we will link it. This is straight. This is straight. I need more textile density over here. And also goes same for this part as well. We do not have any textile density over here. This needs to be straightened out. Textile density is actually same. It's not about textile density. I have to fix like this thing, like which part is gonna be how much visible. So it's like I have to rotate this thing. Make sure these two are together. This is set to individual. So we'll set it back to median or bounding box. Both will work fine. So we are on live matter, right? So that's fine. Yeah. Okay. What is this part? For no, this it's this part. I can very less about it, so rotate it 90 degrees. And what we can do is let's make it straight. Display stretch is fine, and we set it to individual scale x 0, scale x 0. Then we get the straight lines, which is fine, which is completely good. And then I need to make sure all the parts of this thing is together. This is the one part, and this is another part. There we go. This part is over here. Select where the U is. But if I grab this, yeah, this kind of fixes the stretching. This is gonna overlap, but it's fine because this part is not going to be that accessible. This is kind of rotated actually. What is this part for? This one works. Okay. Not seen, then there we go. And wrap it. That's weird. What? Yeah, perfect. This is going to be the inner part. We do not need to worry much. We can scale it down and place it somewhere else later on. And this is for link it. Let's see. It is for. There we go. This will be rotated all the time because the UV is like that. Now we need to worry about this part. There we go, these three. And let's include this one, the mirror part, the glass. So this is the basic structure of the oven. What is this part exactly? Is the bottom part? Make sure to find it out. This is the then we can scale this down because this is the part which is not going to be visible much. Put everything over here. So this is the basic structure of oven. We should make sure like this part is also big, so it should also be included. Yeah, now let's see. So this is going to be the front, and this is the door which is going to open. This is the left and right side. This is the right side, I guess. Let's put it on right and put it on left. This is the left side. This is on the left. The right side is on the right. This is the inner part. And this is the what is this? This is the top part. Got it. Left part, right part. And we got the front. We can adjust that somewhere else for now. Let's put it on side. Move it here. Yeah, this part is included with this one, so keep it somewhere. Why the heck is not rotated? Why the heck do I have this like this? This is correct. Let's remove this. Okay, done, kinda. I just have to make sure like these are about the same size because this is a panel. This is kind of same size. This will work. Great. This is the top panel. So I'm gonna put it on top so that I can have an idea all the time that it is the top part. This is the, where is this area? Oh, this is the back panel. I'm gonna top and back at and save position. There we go. And this is the glass, I believe. Let's put it over here. And this is the inner part, which is not going to be visible much. We can have it for this much size. Now, if we put all these things inside, looks like this. Let's put it here. This is unwrapped already. We do not have to worry much. I think we can repeat this part. Doesn't matter. Oh, okay. That's separate. So this is the dish tray. If we like, if we want to put it outside somewhere, if we want to show the drawer open, we can show it like this. I'm gonna give it some texture space. I think like I should make it a little bit bigger in size. What did we select? Let's take this. All right. So are we live on Twitch? On which like category we are live? I have no idea. I think we are live on Twitch. I have no idea which category is that. Let's check it out. Check it out. Just chatting. Lots of files again, working in. I think this is a fine title for this thing. Dude. So okay, so this is the handle. I just want to make sure like everything goes from up to down. It's should be rotate 180 degrees. In case I apply the world space normal, it works from top to down, so I don't want to face any difficulties. So texture should be facing like that. I know the texture density for this thing is too like this is too big, but yeah, I need this much because I want to show some details over here, like this is banded or some rust going on this part, and I need these things bigger as well so I can show the good amount of rust over here. I think this is a good space. What I could do is like put it over here and bring this down over here. I will check that later on if we need to. The space management is the last part that we have to do in the UVs. Or maybe we can put it over here and move slightly down or something, like maybe scale it down or something like that. All we could do is like put it over here and then move this thing over to the right side, and then yeah, we can definitely do that. Yeah, we can do like that. We got the space over here, we can put some objects, small objects, like we have a plug, which I'm gonna unwrap it right now. Not unwrap, actually I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna make it this way. Both of these are facing like that, and I have to make sure the needles that a plug have also included with this. I feel like I will have to unwrap this again for some reasons. Let's do it, I guess. TFH. Okay, I can do it this way. Unwrap mark seam. We can make this mark seam. Then we can go like that. We go on Discord. My status is active, and hopefully people can see I'm streaming. Can we see that? Is it visible on my profile that I'm streaming on Twitch? No idea. I think there is something like shared activities. Changes. Maybe there's an option called streamer mode. Maybe that enables that. Okay. On the streamer mode, you have the option to show this like you are streaming or something. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is kind of perfect. You can make it like this. This occupies less space and looks good. So let's move it over here. Like this. Anything else? I think I should select this one as well. Move this to UVs. Think so. Okay, about this part, I will do I will do this later. Let's do it like this. Select all of them. So this is the wire, and I should give this good amount of space. Give the space over here. Okay. What is this part for? I forgot. Oh, and this should be with this now. It should be with this, and we can make it a little bit smaller. I think I can resize because I have a lot of space. I should leave some breathing space. There is no breathing space over here. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. तो नहीं चाहिए था बच्चा वैसे। कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस गलत थोड़ी बताया मैंने, सही तो बताया। प्लान बैकलिस्ट हो सकता है उन गलतियों से बार बार। विनय है मेरा ओपोनेंट टाउन हॉल 17 क्यों है? हैं? All right, back to work. Oh. What is this contract portal? Oh, I kind of like the contract portal. I want the name cards. Browse nameplates. All eligible. We have any? No, we cannot buy any. Each and every one is for 4100. Oh, I got my time. No, as per my name card, none of these match. How about this one? Vengeance. Vengeance is kinda cool, but not like the fire is burning. Okay. Control Shift I. क्या तूने टेक्स्ट कौन सा लेटर को नया वाला दिया ना मैंने नोट इसको डाउनलोड कर एक भेज रहा हूँ तो डिलीट कर दे हम्म 18 सितंबर वाला ठीक होगा भेज दिया कर दो Okay, this is the high poly. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Mhm. So let's do this. Save. That is the phone calls and constant radio. Yes.
viewport where a little croissant icon. You can click the previous one. You can display the 2D view. Right, you'll find your texture set list, select it to next to each this hierarchy. You can think of it as a path that gets more than your bakers. Below it are the bake touch between. One of the most important features of this app is simple needs displayed at the same time. The low. To better illustrate this, let's prepare a simple bake. I'm going to load my high poly meshes here in the common settings and see how the loading is tracked in the log. Perfect. Now you'll notice that something has changed in the viewport. A blue layer has appeared underneath the cage. That's the high poly model. You now have 3 elements displayed at the same time. The low poly mesh that is a bit buried underneath everything else here, the high poly mesh, and the cage. Now what is great about this feature?
हेलो ठीक है जी ले आ, बाहर जा बाहर खड़ा है कोड आया कोड ले लियो all right back so they were explaining
Feature is that it allows for direct visual feedback as you fiddle with your cage. No more blind tweaking. Here, for example, the cage offset is way too big. So let's reduce the max frontal distance until the cage tightly wraps around our model.
Okay, this is
if we go too far, matching errors will start to appear in red, helping us find the right balance. We can now inspect our mesh and search for missing areas, and simply adjust the cage accordingly. To make those fine adjustments easier, the sliders are now exponential instead of linear, meaning you can tweak values within a very small range. If you accidentally went too far and want to go back to your previous setting, you can also undo your last action with Ctrl-Z. Now let's go over the baking visualization panel in more details. First off, you can always disable all the overlays by clicking here on the hide icon. It's especially useful if you want to see your project mesh only to check the result of a baking pass, for example. You can also choose to see the baking of your texture sets. You can your high poly mesh if you have any. Like she's very heavy, cage settings. Then, but we'll take another example in a moment. This is what neutral material that you can adjust to better inspect your mesh after the baking. For example, it can be interesting to make it smoother and metallic to search for any artifacts or errors. I don't have any on that mesh, but we'll take another example. Missing seams on hard edges. I don't have any on that mesh, but we'll take another example in a moment. And finally, we have our project mesh, or LP for low poly. This is what remains when you disable the baking visualization. Notice that it comes with a neutral material that you can adjust to better inspect your mesh after the baking. For example, it can be interesting to make it smoother and metallic to search for any artifacts or errors. You can also decide how much ambient occlusion you want, if you want to display the bent normals, and so on. Don't forget that at any point you can reset your parameters to default by clicking here. Alright, we're now happy with our settings, so let's launch a simple bake. Like I said earlier, it's best to follow the logical path that goes from the texture set selection to the baker settings. For the sake of this example, I'm going to bake the whole mesh, so I leave all texture sets selected. As for the bake,
hey Jukes, welcome to the stream. You're looking. I see. Thank you so much for checking out the stream. I'm just trying to figure out how to bake
bakers. For now, I'd like to experiment with the normal on.
Basically, there are 2 types of model, and this is a low poly model. As you can see, wait. This is a low poly model. Everything is like pretty low poly, and another one we have a high poly model, which is too high poly. So much details. I'm just baking all the information that it has. Let's say, wait a second. So this is like too edgy. You can see the edges over here, but in this mesh you cannot see the edges. But see how smooth this is. I just want this smoothness in this low poly model, so this is why we have to bake it. Just give me a second. I got to need something.
only. So I'm going to deselect all the others by alt-clicking it.
Okay.
Now careful here. You'll notice that if I select my other texture sets, they still have the other bakers selected. Only the notch, or you can choose to bake only the texture set long baked and inspect tricky areas. Saving mode, pressing B will display the baked map. So I'm going to cycle through them until I get to the normal map. Okay, all looks decent. Facing the case missing, we can open our mesh in the modeling tool that we used and re-export a high poly version of the clause, and then a mesh disappears. But it does so for all the texture sets, and this is not what I want. What happened is that, by default, the command parameters are synchronized across all texture sets, hence the link icon that I mentioned earlier. But there is now a new feature that lets you break that link and adjust the command settings per texture set. So let's uncheck that first, and making sure we're in the right texture set, the clause one.
Wait a second, why did she choose low poly as high poly?
It gets more. I'm going to look that something has changed the high poly mesh. Since I'm this, you want to mesh the value. So I want to specify we press to everything by the wrong mode to take the low poly as soon as version of the clause and then upload it back in Painter. Or we can decide that we don't really need a high poly for that and simply bake the low poly onto itself by enabling use low poly mesh as high poly mesh.
Oh, that's why we use it.
As soon as I do that, the high poly mesh disappears, but it does so for all the texture sets, and this is not what I want. What happened is that by default, icon for a and so on. Found a hard edge without a seam here. This is the pink outline that I mentioned earlier. People have a bit of practice to get used to. So let me switch to another project to better illustrate it. So I now have this low polygon that I'd like to bake. I've uploaded the high poly alright, but I've already noticed an issue. Painter warns me that it found a hard edge without a seam here. This is the pink outline that I mentioned earlier. And if we inspect the mesh real quick in Blender, we can understand better what's going on. A hard edge means that the vertex normals between two faces are split. If I smooth this edge back, then my vertices normal will average. If I smooth this edge back, then my vertices normal will average in the middle like so, allowing for a clean, continuous bake. If I keep them split, then the baker will have to interpolate somehow that gap between the two normals, and it will result in artifacts because there is not enough space between the faces in the UVs. To fix this, I can either smooth that edge or separate the UV islands by adding a UV seam here. In this case, I'm just going to smooth it, re-export the mesh, and reload it. The issue is gone, and so is the pink outline. This is a very helpful visual cue because it's easy to miss those artifacts, especially on complex meshes.
So we have to make
Now let's set up our bake. Selecting all my texture sets, and to go faster, I can simply expand the menu here and click on Select All Texture Sets and UV Tiles. Ambient Occlusion, Texture Set. Example, I thickness. Quick way that we can also synchronize or desynchronize occlusion bake all the texture sets. For example, if I decide to bump up the secondary rays of the ambient occlusion baker to have a better occlusion quality, this value will be passed on to all the texture sets by default. But since this might also make the process heavier, maybe I want to tone that down for less visible parts of my mesh, like the trigger, for example. Now, if I want to isolate this set and assign a lower value to it, it's the same process as with the common settings. Simply click on the link next to the relevant baker, then uncheck that it remain linked for all. I will go back. If it's going to be done. To fix this, the usual solution is to go to the common settings, scroll down to the match menu, and select Match by Mesh Name. This ensures that the various parts of the mesh won't occlude each other. But in this case, I do want that mutual occlusion. I just don't want it on the magazine because it's eventually going to be animated. Thanks to the split parameters, I can now enable the match by mesh name only equivalent. In our case, launch the bake, go to the occlusion baker, desynchronize it too, and select here as well only same mesh name. Okay, so let's launch the bake, focusing on the magazine by hiding the rest, and investigate the result. See here, I have a cage issue. The rays don't go deep enough, so let's just fix that in the command settings, increase the max rear distance.
Explore inside, okay.
Perfect. I now have a clean bake for the magazine, and it will stay consistent even when the magazine moves or is reloaded. Let's sum up what we covered in this video and add it to the baking.
Well, this was quite useful. Give me a second. back to frame. Let's see. And you breathe. And then
तो ब्लैक दिख रहा है,
हाँ,
तुम्हारे नाम पे हवर करने पे दिख रहा है, और क्लिक करने पे फिर हमेशा दिख रहा है।
समझ में क्या है?
हेलो भाई,
हेलो हेलो।
देख मैं दिखाता हूँ तेरे को, मेरे को कैसा दिख रहा है।
दिखाओ दिखाओ।
समझ में आपको गाय भेज रहा हूँ।
दिख रहा?
देख रहा हूँ, रुक
देख
जा।
रहा?
समझ में
अरे
डीएम।
समन वहाँ, वहाँ नहीं समन। ये मेरा
तेरे
ये
पे हवर कर,
पीसी ऑनलाइन पे जाओ।
ऐसे करने पे फिर परमानेंट
नहीं
दिख रहा है।
नहीं,
तेरे और
पीसी
इस
ऑन,
पे
हाँ सर्वर पे जाओ। अब वो जनरल दबाओ।
जनरल लेवल को कहीं भी क्लिक कर दो। और
हाँ
ऊपर
राइट,
आपका वो ऊपर देखो आपके सर्च के लेफ्ट में ना।
मेंबर लिस्ट राइट में।
सर्च के लेफ्ट साइड, हाँ।
हाँ, तो सबसे नीचे जाओ।
ये ऑफलाइन रखता अपना हरामखोर।
तो दिख
हाँ
तो रहा है
हल्का
नीला
दिख रहा
नीला।
है, इधर
अयान
दिख
का
रहा है।
देखो, अयान का भी देखो
तो
दिख
यहाँ
रहा
देखो
है।
ना, ये है आयाम का।
हम्म।
समझ में, मैंने आपको गाय भेजी है डीएम में।
वो एफबीआई कर दी है।
तो चीज
फार्मर्स वैली।
हाँ, वो गेम
ठीक
खेलते
है,
वो खेलते थे ना।
अभी आया।
एक्टिविटी।
अच्छा,
ओ नाइस।
नया ये और बायो कलेक्ट कर लिया एफबीआई।
कर लिया, मेरे को थोड़ा और चाहिए, फिर मैं जाके ले सकता हूँ। अभी नहीं ले सकता, मैं लूँगा अपना वो वाला
मेरे पे ये
वेंजेंस।
है अभी।
अरे सम्मन तुम
कलेक्ट
पूरा
करो।
बंडल लो, फिर
बंडल लेना पहले।
नेविगेट ले लो।
इसको
अरे
कलेक्ट
स्नो
करो।
ब्रेक बड़ा खतरनाक गेम है यार, देखा तुम लोगों ने?
नहीं, कौन सा?
नहीं,
स्नो ब्रेक अभी सर्च करके देख लो।
कैसा है, क्या है, क्या चीज
अरे
है?
बहुत खतरनाक है, देखो तो सही अभी यूट्यूब पे सर्च करेंगे। समझ में अभी स्ट्रीम करके दिखा दो।
देखो
समझाओ।
कोई नहीं। मैं तो बैठे के काम कर रहा हूँ।
क्रोम खोलो।
पहले इसके साथ वो कर दो।
समझ विंडोज 11 कैसा है? अच्छा है।
उसमें 10 का
होने
सपोर्ट
देते हैं।
खत्म हो गया ना।
10 का सपोर्ट खत्म हो गया, तब तो सही है यार। नो
क्या?
मोर फालतू अपडेट्स।
सिक्योरिटी नहीं मिलेगी?
ठीक है, मैं सिक्योरिटी खुद देख लेता हूँ। तो कौन सा कुछ खास सिक्योरिटी देते।
नो ब्रेक।
ये भी ठीक है।
उल्टा वो बग ही देते हैं। वो लास्ट टाइम क्या विंडोज बंद हो गया था सबका 10, याद है ना? पूरा
हाँ,
दुनिया का विंडोज खराब हो गया था एक साथ, एक अपडेट के चक्कर में।
इसमें नहीं आता क्या?
स्नो ब्रेक लिखो, यूट्यूब स्नो ब्रेक। अबे तुम भी देखो, मस्त चीज है।
मैं ट्विच पे बैठा हूँ लाइव, तुम ट्विच पे मेरे को दिखाओगे वो चीज़ें।
अब तो भाई यूट्यूब पे ओपनली अवेलेबल है, तो क्या दिक्कत है?
हाँ,
ट्विच की अलग ही गाइडलाइन
ऊपर वाला कंटेनमेंट जोन आ।
यही तो है।
हाँ क्लिक करो, क्लिक करो।
गेट, मैं ट्रेलर देखना चाह रहा हूँ।
और ट्रेलर
गेम
ही
प्ले,
तो है सामान ऊपर,
ये
के
तो
ऊपर वाला।
ऑफिशियल चीज है।
उसके ऊपर 1/3, अरे वो फैनी
ये
ऑपरेटिव ट्रेलर, हाँ।
केशव फुरीना के लिए काम करना है।
आ रहा हूँ।
थोड़ी देर में खाना खा के आता हूँ।
ये क्या था?
क्या?
ट्रेलर।
समन आवाज आई, देखा था।
कैसी आवाज करता है?
काट दही।
वो एकदम मेल ऑडियंस पकड़ के चल रहे गेम वाले। यार पैसे कमाते हैं ऐसे।
ये है क्या?
डेटिंग सिमुलेटर लग रहा है मुझे तो।
नहीं।
गेम प्ले था ना इधर, कहाँ गया?
वैलोरेंट गेम प्ले। थोड़ा आगे कर लो समवन। है, ये क्या हो गया? अरे तो ट्रेलर में कुछ और ही बेच रहे। ये शूटर नहीं, फर्स्ट पर्सन नहीं, शूटर गेम निकला ये तो। वेक्टर चला रही है यार।
ये है ना?
समझ में, आपने लिंक नहीं भेजा राइट का?
क्या?
राइट वाला लिंक नहीं भेजा?
भाई तुम्हारा लिंक है तो उसमें भेज दो।
इंस्टाग्राम पे था समवन वैसे।
ये नहीं। कहाँ भेजा था मैंने? वैल्यू पे भेजा हुआ ना।
कुछ बोल रहे हो सब?
मैं ढूंढ रहा था कहाँ है। मेरा मिल
नहीं
गया।
मिला, लिया नहीं।
SBI। मैं भेज दिया
हाँ भैया।
व्हाट्सएप। ये मैंने सुना है काफी अच्छा है।
आर दे पेइंग और नॉट?
क्या?
पे कर रहे हैं ये?
क्यों नहीं करेंगे भाई?
लिखा का नो प्रायर एक्सपीरियंस एज अ गेम डिजाइनर।
रिक्वायरमेंट में देख।
2+ ईयर है प्रायर प्रोफेशनल एक्सपीरियंस एज अ गेम डिजाइनर हुआ ना।
नहीं, एज अ गेम डिजाइनर नहीं बन रहा। बस प्रोफेशनल एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए कि कहीं प्रोफेशनल सेटिंग में काम किया है।
बेस सैलरी बिटवीन 88,000। डैम, सैलरी बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है तो लॉस
सीधे
एंजलिस में
तो
है ना।
बोलो हाँ, सीधे तो बोलो कर ले।
इतना है 78 लाख पर पर ईयर हुआ ना। 78 लाख का पैकेज हुआ।
हाँ
78 लाख से एक करोड़ 9 लाख का। वहाँ जाके खर्चा भी उतना ही है।
नहीं।
प्लस इंसेंटिव कंपनसेशन प्लस इक्विटी प्लस 401k विद कंपनी मैच मेडिकल डेंटल विजन एंड लाइफ इंश्योरेंस शॉर्ट एंड लॉन्ग टर्म डिसेबिलिटी प्लस पीटीओ ओपन पीटीओ। व्हाट इज पीटीओ? प्लीज टर्न ओवर।
वाह, मेरे को तो सही लग रहा है। बाकी
कवर
देखो।
लेटर नहीं है उसके बिना चलेगा ना?
कवर लेटर लिख ले, बना ले क्या। कवर लेटर बना लिया क्या जा रहा है? शेष। शेषा।
हाँ क्या?
क्या कर रहा है?
एनीमे देख रहा था।
अभी भी?
हाँ वो खत्म नहीं किया था ना।
वो मैं तो बुला रहा था तेरे को।
अच्छा वैलो, आ जाओ।
ये
शीशा चांद नानी घास की
एनीमे।
पानी में
आइसक्रीम।
चोकोमांको।
वो चॉकलेट को चोको बोलते, चोको।
कि
मांको
चॉकलेट बनाना होता है ना, चको को।
ए,
को
समझ आया, आजकल वापस आ गए वैलो में।
समन चान चोकोमांको स्कीगा का मांको मांको
नाइन
स्की
नाइन
मांको
ना ना
ओपाए
हाई
Hentai.
सेवन फ्रेंड्स मैं भी देख लेता हूँ नया एपिसोड और अगले लोग अरे जो मैंने बोला था वो देखा तूने शीशा
क्या क्या देखने बोला था सामान भूल गया
भूल गए तुम
एक बार बता दिलाओ
चल 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 अंदर वो कर रहा हूँ चल राइट साइड वो है और सीधा भाग सीधा इसमें भाग
चल क्या रहा है?
राइट साइड से आ रहे हैं
आने दे हील दे दूंगा
हेडफोन की साउंड फुल है ना मेरे को सब पता चल रहा पहले हेडफोन की
अरे
साउंड
मातर
नहीं
जात।
खेलता था मेरी तरफ देखना कवर देना
नहीं दे सकता मैं मर गया डायरेक्ट तेरे पीछे बंदा है लेफ्ट साइड में लेफ्ट लेफ्ट पूरा राइट 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 और राइट पूरा सीढ़ी की तरफ
रिवाइव
नेक्स्ट मेरे पास
आ रहा हूँ अरे झुंड है बे उधर G18 मार दिया
उसको उम्मीद नहीं होगी मेरी वाइफ भी दे दूंगा खुले में
साला आग फेंकता हुआ कौन घुसा ऊपर
कैसा लगा
मेरा भैंचो दिख नहीं रहा आग फेंक दो बस स्मोक के अंदर आग लगती नहीं है पता है
लगती है मेरा घेटा है
नहीं मेरा कभी डैमेज नहीं आता भले ही मुझे पता हो कि बंदा वहां पे है लेकिन डैमेज नहीं आता मुझे
नहीं आता आता मेरे को आया अभी हिट मार गया इन्होंने अपडेट में या तो ठीक कर दिया होगा क्योंकि मैं तभी तो मारता हुआ घुसा हूँ वरना मैं गोले चलाता हुआ जाता
नहीं हो क्या
कहाँ है
तुम ही थे क्या ये आग मारने वाले
तुम कौन है
मैं
दोबारा
no.
क्या बोलना चाहते हो समझ ना है वो
मतलब ये तो पहले से था ना
नहीं
6400 आवर्स
लगा दो समवन नाइट मार्केट है ओह वैसे में कुछ लेना तो नहीं बट फिर ही खोलेंगे कुछ आया भी नहीं ढंग का
मेरे वाले में क्या है
तेरा नहीं मेरी आईडी है फिलहाल तो म्यूट करता है
मैं तो बोल रहा यार बुलाओ किसी को शीशा भाई
किसको बुलाऊं आयान को बुलाऊं
अरे
महिलाओं की बातें हो रही हैं
थोड़ी हरियाली लाओ
क्या मतलब सूखा पड़ा है एकदम
हाँ तो
एक लड़की मिली तो है यार आवाज तो बहुत सेक्सी लेकिन यार वो वैलो नहीं खेलती है
तो क्या खेलती है
CS को खेलती है
वो इंस्टॉल करके रुको कहाँ से है एपिक पे मिल जाएगा
क्या हुआ
एपिक पे मिल जाएगा
अरे CS
स्टीम
को
स्टीम
क्यों नहीं मिल
स्टीम पे
अच्छा स्टीम पे ही है वो स्टीम एक्सक्लूसिव है क्या CS
हम्म
CS2
डायरेक्ट नहीं मिलता
फ्री है ना शायद
फ्री है
ये ऊपर से वो बहुत प्रो है यार
वो नहीं तब नहीं मैं भेजे तो नहीं होगा
वही बेइज्जती हो जाएगी इसके साथ खेलेंगे। अयान कह रहा था शायद ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स भी खेलती थी।
वो कैसे मिल गई?
क्या?
तुम्हें कैसे मिल गई?
आरपी में सब मिलते।
अरे यार छी। पहले ये बताना होता है कि आरपी की दोस्त है। मैं पहले ही इतना एक्साइट नहीं होता।
अरे को फिर एक्साइटमेंट बढ़ा देते हैं। शी डजंट लाइक आरपी बट ऑडियंस के लिए करना पड़ता है।
अरे आईडी बताओ।
इसका यूट्यूब चैनल है
अरे
रेना करके।
अरे
अगर
रीना की
ढूंढ।
बात कर रहे हो क्या तुम?
हाँ
कौन क्या?
रीना करके नाम है बंदे का।
REYNA।
नहीं R3NA।
अच्छा वो तो शायद मिला हूँ मैं भी।
मे बी।
इससे
हाँ
नहीं
तो
मिला।
नाम तो ये वैलो का ही है लेकिन खेलती सीएस को ज्यादा है। सीधे भाई ऊपर पहुंचा देना जल्दी। जल्दी है आपको ऊपर जाने की। समझ कह रहा है ऊपर पहुंचा देना। अरे मिड में दो तीन बंदे घुस गए नीचे। नीचे इधर। ओहो नाइस शॉट। हील चाहिए 7 ISO को। इसी को दे दो।
अरे दे दिया मैंने, स्काई को दे दिया।
मिड था। बी घुस गया। मेरे को लग रहा है वो दो एफके हैं। स्मोक भी नहीं आया उनका वैसे तो। गेट बंद कर दे तुम। यही ऐसे भी चमके। आया। को हील करोगे समवन खुद को। लेफ्ट से आ रहा। उप्स। टाइमिंग।
टाइमिंग खराब है भाई।
आओ। जिनकी चीकी। क्या बात है क्या लाइफ साइकिल है।
क्या?
वो लाइव देगी एक छीन लेगी।
कौन लाइट देगी, कौन चीज लेगी मतलब?
से
गंदी
और
बातें कर
रीना
रहा
कह
हूँ।
रही थी। रीना कह रही थी कि
रहने दे, समझ गया। यू गिव लाइफ, आई टेक इट।
साइकिल है लाइफ साइकिल है। आगे दो बेड में क्यों ही लड़ना झगड़ना। ना तो हमें पता है हमारा। अरे यार टैग करना चाहिए था।
रैकेट किया था वो, आई नहीं समझ।
हम्म।
जैसे आप लोगों ने अनंता गेम प्ले देखा।
उसका
अनंता एक्सप्रेस नहीं था अनंता ही था।
नंदा एक्सप्रेस एक अलग गेम है।
वही। अरे भैया फैंटम में समन साइड पे उठा लेना। उठा ले उसे। अनंता एक्सप्रेस करके हॉरर मूवीज है और अनंता अरे इंडियन गेम तो नहीं है तो ये होगा एनबी होगा 117 काश बक्की नहीं जज होती
Hey,
और
this is
डिस्टेंस मेंटेन हो जाता
object, this Lego brick, and
भाग गया समवन
map as you can see here.
ऑन द लेफ्ट है
Hard edge on your or hard edge did splits. Now, if we look at the corresponding if we split, you get a. This will average the GPU is not having to close any data gaps, which means no black line artifacts. This works where you have matching continuous UVs. A benefit is that the GPU is count for game asset for the average normals, and this can cause some compression issues. You could also add some additional control edges to help alleviate any shading issues. So if you're using a MIC-T tangent basis, which is the same for both Unity and Unreal, the edge or a smoothing split, then I have a corresponding UV split with padding. This workflow will provide a nice, clean result without edge artifacts. And you can see the normal map itself has very few gradients as the sharp edges are controlling the shading. You also don't need to be synced with the same tangent basis. Again, this does increase vertex count on the GPU due to the painter. You need to make sure that you enable compute tangent space per fragment in the project settings. So that's going to take care of this video. The big takeaway is
चलो 0 पीछे से खेलना आ गया मत करना ऑल
B.
You have to accept
पॉन में एफके
Okay, so the baking. So anytime that you set prop to this, so in this case, how to write this thing in normal map. Then I will deactivate all the other maps, just only normal map, and then I'm going to drag and drop the normal map here on top. Make sure that this thing is set into normal. Make sure this thing is set into replace. And now let's go here to this paint. Let's also make sure that we are only painting in normal map. Okay, and now when you paint, as you can see here, painting with this color,
अरे समवन व्हाट द फक तो खतरनाक समवन कैरी करने के मूड में अरे दीदी को बुलाओ नेटो क्या ऑफर आया है
color. What we are doing, let's do also layer that will set the normal map. Okay, now we are going to do a paint here.
सेज को तो मैंने उस पे अंधे में मारा
paint. Okay,
मैप
in
पे
this layer,
पोजीशन देख के
this layer
यही करना
also make
चाहिए
sure that this thing is set into normal. Make sure this thing is set into replace. And now
एक किल तो हम भी कर लिए ये।
Let's go here to this paint. Let's also make sure that we are only painting in
केजे
normal
अल्ट
map.
करेगी बी घुसेगी।
Okay, and now when you
मैं वॉल
paint,
कर रहा हूँ।
वॉल तोड़, पहले अल्ट करेंगे फिर वॉल तोड़ेंगे फिर घुस जाएंगे।
स्लो भी कर दूंगा।
हम स्लो करते हैं जब वो एंटर कर रहे हो, लो मर ही गया, अब क्या ही अल्ट करेगा वो।